traders at UBA say that they expect the Treasury Bills market to witness a quiet trading today. And I have Chuka Nwachukwu, the head of trading at UBA. He joins me now as we look at the markets. Thank you so much for your time today. Quite an interesting time we're seeing play out here. But let's talk about what we're seeing in terms of sentiments today. I know that there's that TBills auction in the market.
Yeah, thank you, Ken. We had the TB auction today, and that has actually affected trading. Typical of trading auction day, there were little activities on trading today, and that is because people are just anticipating the result of the auction. The auction results should be out around maybe in the next 2-3 hours, and then the last result came out at 7.45. With what is happening at the secondary market, we expect that the yield will inch up slightly, maybe around 30 or 40 basis points upward movement from the last auction result.
All right, there quite a lot there, but are we seeing more demand for short-end, more or less short-tenor special bills like the special bills?
Yes, the activity mainly is on the special bill. That's where we've seen attractive yield around 12–13%. Also on the shorter end, on the NTB, we've seen a shorter end activity on that end as well, but mainly on the bearish side. People just looking to sell down some of their positions in order to create liquidity, because that's a major source of concern right now.
But for bonds, though, what's driving sentiment for bonds?
What is driving sentiment for bond is, activities around the around the inflation result. We've seen inflation each up from 18.6 to 19.6 for about 104 basis points. And so also we anticipate that the next inflation result will also come out around maybe 20%. So that's obviously is what is fueling in the sentiment in the bond space. And so we've also seen that yield has also inched up. The 2042 came out around the 13.75 and is currently trading around the 14 levels. So all indication is that the yield will continue to go up, and that's where people are playing into that space.
But in terms of liquidity, yes, we're running up this month. What's any chance we can see some activity there, and what's your expectation going to the next month?
There hasn't been a respite in terms of liquidity. The system is still very tight. Rate is still going around the 15% levels. Yesterday there was a coupon payment, quite a little, about 65 billion was paid, and that didn't do much for to the liquidity situation. So it's going to be like this till end of the month, probably with the coming in of FAC around the last week of the month. So probably might see a bit of respite. But the system is so tight that even if FAC comes in, we might not feel much of it. Going into the next month, there will be a bit of respite, because about 345 billion worth of coupon will be paid, and that will also aid liquidity into the month of September.
Well, let's get to the area of currency and what we see play out in the investors and exporters window.
Yeah, the currency has been, should I say, it has slightly been depreciating. Yesterday it closed at 429 levels. Today is around 430. So it's been hovering between 428 to 431 levels. We all know what is going on at that space. There is huge demand and then little supply. So as long as the supply demands are not met, we still see this forth and back appreciation and depreciation here and there.
But what are you looking for going into next week then?
On the FX side or the fixed
income
income
side?
side?
Generally.
Okay, going into the week, the sentiment will be on the T-bill side. Number one is the results of this auction will determine what will happen going into the week. Number two, on the side of the bond, because of the liquidity situation we are having, we see a bearish sentiment. People will also look to wind down some of their position in order to create liquidity. On the FX side, we expect that CBN will continue to meet demand, and then we expect a moderate appreciation if that is done.